If you've been wondering if you should have a Cadillac or a Pilates tower in your home for your personal practice, this video is for you. I'm going to go over the differences between a Cadillac and a tower, the pros and cons, and which one I think could be the best for you. Hi, I'm Lesley Logan, the founder of OnlinePilatesClasses.com. I've been teaching Pilates for over 15 years, and I love equipment. I love how many different pieces of equipment Joseph Pilates left for us to help us with our practice. In fact, the Cadillac used to be called the trapeze table, and it was considered, like, you know how the Cadillac used to be the car with all the options? That's why the trapeze table got the name the Cadillac, because it was the piece of equipment with all the options, and it can actually really help you take your Pilates practice to the next level. So I'm really excited to talk to you about Cadillac and tower, which one you should have.
Welcome to OnlinePilatesClasses.com, the most supportive Pilates-loving community across the globe. Enjoy new weekly classes from our amazing teachers. Download the OnlinePilatesClasses.com app today.
Before we get into the Cadillac and tower, I just want to talk a little bit about why we have the equipment and what its use is. Because if you're like some people, you only do it on the mat, good for you. Or some people have only experienced the equipment and you're like, hey, I love the equipment, I just want all that all the time. So here's the deal. Joseph Pilates created the mat work first. Then he realized, oh my God, we need so much help. We need help understanding how to move our bodies from our center, which is where the equipment came in. And so whether or not you're using a mat, reformer, Cadillac or tower, one a chair, all those things, those different pieces of equipment help us connect more to ourselves. We can connect more to others. In fact, I actually have a video on all the different types of Pilates equipment on this channel that you can watch if you're wanting to know more information about other than the Cadillac and tower. All right, so let's just talk about the Cadillac as a piece of equipment, and then we can get into what the tower is. So as you can see, this is kind of a beast of a piece of equipment. It does take up some space. You've got a nice mat here that you can work on. The Cadillac would have a push-through bar, and you can see it's over here on this side where my arm springs are. And then over here, I've got something called a rollback bar, and I've got leg springs. And what these springs do is help you assist in doing different exercises based on the level of your practice and also the connections you need. I like to think of the Cadillac as the piece of equipment that really teaches you the connections. So whether you're going to the reformer next or the mat or the one chair, you've kind of figured out how to make some moves in your body. When you're looking at a Cadillac, you can see you've got this amazing trapeze at the top where you can actually do a lot of things up there, and then you also have space on the outside. So this piece of equipment is more than meets the eye for sure. In fact, if you were looking at the flashcard deck for OnlinePilatesClasses.com flashcards for the Cadillac and tower, it's over 115 exercises that we included, and there are so many more other than that. So the specific differences between a Cadillac like this and a tower, well, there's a few. There's a few, and there's also a few different towers that we could talk about, but I'm just going to talk in general and then we get into the nitty gritty. So a tower is going to actually be one unit piece here with a mat underneath it. You won't have this bar situation on the top, and everything you see on these sides is actually going to be on one side. So it's got lots of hooks. You still have your push through bar. Ideally you want that, but you'll have hooks for your arm springs and your leg springs and your rollback bar, all of it on one side. The beauty of that is that you don't need to have high enough ceilings to have these bars. And also it kind of looks like it takes up less space. Plus, if you use a wall unit, a tower wall unit, you can actually lift the mat up to the tower and then recreate your floor space. So that's where the differences are. You will lose a few exercises if you go for a tower as opposed to a Cadillac. Not too many, but some of the good ones that you want to have, especially if you're working with your upper body strength. However, you're going to pick the piece of equipment you have room for. You may notice that the Cadillac and tower have some similarities to the reformer. For example, the springs or the handles from the arm springs. Also a nice little bed to lay on. That's on purpose, actually. You'll see, as I mentioned before, the Cadillac can actually really help us make connections that can make their reformer practice better and also our mat practice better. And so if you want to see all the different types of Pilates, make sure you check out my video on the different types of equipment for Pilates, and then subscribe to this channel so you never miss a video from us. Okay, let's talk about the tower, the benefits, all the different reasons why it's amazing. So first of all, as I mentioned earlier, the tower is a bit of a space saver. So especially if you have a low ceiling place to put this, or you don't have a ton of room, a tower can be a really great option. Also, there are things called a tower reformer combo. That's for those of you who really want to space save, and we can get into the differences of why you'd want that versus just having a wall tower unit. And I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of that on this video. We'll do it in a future one, so let me know if you're interested in that in the comments below. But the benefits of a tower, that you still get to have a lot of the awesomeness of a Cadillac with less space. Also, let's just be real, they're less expensive. So that can be a benefit as well. While you are losing some exercises because you don't have this trapeze at the top, you still gain a whole lot of exercises that you can't replicate without it. You need these leg springs to teach you that connection of your legs to your center. The arm springs are a really great tool for teaching your arms to connect to your back. So when you're looking at towers, there's ones that are on a wall. They have a high mat, and if you don't get the high mat, you can use a regular mat, but the high mat is really, really great. There's also things like called a springboard, and some of those do come with a push-through bar, so that goes just like on an actual wall. And then, as I mentioned before, there's towers that are attached to reformers. So all of those save a lot of space, still give you access to some of the amazing Cadillac exercises, and allow you to have a few pieces of equipment in a small space and also save some money there. What's super cool about OPC is all of our tower classes, even if they're filmed on a Cadillac, are designed for those of you with a tower. So we keep that in mind when we create the classes, so we don't put exercises in that cannot be done on most towers. And so if you want to give it a try out, you can actually check out our Cadillac workout here on this channel. It's actually a tower workout, so give it a try on the piece of equipment that you have. And if you like that tower workout, you should check out onlinepilatesclasses.com, where we actually release a new tower workout every single month. It's based on an entire theme that goes with the mat. And if you have access to a reformer or a chair, you can see how the theme continues to go around the Pilates studio. It's really designed to help you become your own teacher of your own body and just see how the tower work can affect your entire Pilates practice. So go to onlinepilatesclasses.com/YouTube to try us out. All right, let's talk about space and cost, because I know we're all thinking that. So I want to just explain the space I'm in with my Cadillac. It's at my house. This is a regular size bedroom in a house, and you can see my Cadillac is about a foot from the ceiling. That does limit me a little bit because I am 5'9". So when I stand on this, if I have a hair bun, it's on the ceiling. So really affects, I can't do candlestick in this space, but I can still do several of the exercises on top here, and I have it in a position where I can still do exercises on either side. If I was in a smaller sized room, I would probably push this towards one side, be able to have access to one end, and then pull it to the other side. So you do want to have a bit of space around a Cadillac. So even if you're like, oh, I've got room for it in my ceiling, you also need to have room around the sides of it to fully use the Cadillac. A tower, it's still going to be the same length of a bed. It's still going to have roughly about this height of the poles on it. So you're still looking around 6 feet tall. Most rooms are at least that tall, so I think you're good there. But the length of the bed is still going to be about 6 to 8 feet, 7 feet long. So you'll want to have that. What's really nice, if you have a wall unit, as I mentioned, you can actually just pull the mat up. It can tip up to the tower unit on the wall. It's attached there, and you get all your floor space back, which is really nice. If you're using one of the tower units that's connected to a reformer, then you would need to have the length of a reformer. Typically about an 86-inch reformer is what's needed to have a tower attached to it. So that's going to mean you need to have at least that much room, plus room on one side or the other so you can move the equipment back and forth. Cost-wise, so you'll find a wide variety. We actually have links below to our favorite manufacturer, Balance Body, who makes Contrology, which is this Cadillac. And you'll notice that between the springboards and the tower units, you're looking around $1,000 to almost $3,000 for those tower units, whereas the Cadillacs by Balance Body and Contrology are around $5,000. We're actually just shy of that at the point that I'm filming this. But if you wanted to add things on, like I have here with my with my Contrology, I actually have what's called the toy box, so the treasure chest, which makes it really a space saver because I can put stuff on the inside and then I can push this down and I get access to my mat all over again. So that can put it towards 5,000. That is not cheap, but also this is gonna last me forever and I can use it every single day as part of my Pilates practice. So if you think about it, it really does get its great use and the quality is really amazing. So make sure you check out our link in the description below when you're choosing a tower or a Cadillac. If you're looking at this equipment or even the pictures of the towers and going, okay, well, what would I do with that? Don't worry, I have you covered. So at OPC, we actually have flashcards for all the different pieces of equipment, and the Cadillac deck also includes if it's available on a tower. So if the card inside can be done on a tower in a Cadillac, it's really easy to notice. If it can't be done on a tower, it's about 14 exercises, then you'll see that you can pull those to the side. So you can actually give yourself a personal practice at home with whatever piece of equipment you end up buying for yourself. So which one is best for you? Well, ultimately, you're gonna have to make the decision. This is my favorite. This is the Contrology Cadillac, as I mentioned, and I do know that it takes up a lot of space. One of my girlfriends puts it in her living room and she puts some pillows on it when it's not being used. So it's just part of her own furniture. If you do decide to choose a different Cadillac or to use a tower, all of that is fine. I still love you. You can still take class with me. You can still use our videos and our flashcards. But what I want you to consider is this. Make sure you're paying attention to what you're gonna miss out on. Again, if you lose the trapeze up here, you are gonna lose out on all that upper body work that goes with it. If you decide to go with a tower, double check that it actually has a push-through bar. That is important. Notice that mine is wood. I would love for you to have a wood push-through bar, and the reason for that is because the weight of that bar really does teach some connections. If you end up with a metal one though, you're still good to go. And then finally, I want you to make sure that you're getting springs that are suitable for your practice and your body. So make sure that they're the right weight, the right tension. If you have questions about that, you put comments below. But I do like a heavier spring setting on the Cadillac because it really does teach you those connections, and also on the tower. And of course, you can always ask me questions about which one is right for you in the comments below. You can join me Sundays at 9 a.m. Pacific time where I answer those questions. Finally, if you're not ready to make the decision to purchase a tower or a Cadillac yet, do not worry about it. At onlinepilatesclasses.com, we have mat classes. We also have memberships with a mat and reformer if you have access to a reformer. And so you can still get your Pilates on. You can still have community, accountability, and connection to yourself so you can connect more to others. You can even get feedback on exercises that you're doing with us. And so we can actually make sure that you're getting the connections you need and increasing your practice at the level that's right for you. So no matter what your Pilates experience is, you can join OPC today by going to onlinepilatesclasses.com/YouTube. Thank you so much for watching this. I will see you next Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time to answer your questions. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you never miss a video from us. Have an amazing day.